With Star Trek Lower Decks just under a week away, we've gotten some exclusive pictures and footage from the anticipated animated show. Let's dive in and break it all down. Hit it.
We are so getting fired for this.
Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. At this year's Comic-Con at Home 2020, the Star Trek Universe panel was in full swing and gave us a look at an exclusive scene from the very first episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, the first animated Trek series since the animated series all the way back in 1973. Not only is this the first animated series in a while, but the first Trek series which is gearing towards a comedy. Trek has done comedic episodes before, whether actual comedies or just hilariously bad episodes, but how might a comedic series go? Well, if this scene is anything to go by, it should be good. Let's warp in and see what we have. Now, I've left a link down below to where you can watch the exclusive scene for yourself. I would recommend giving it a watch. It gives you a heads up of what to expect from Star Trek Lower Decks so far. There's also been a variety of new trailers released. I'll link them down below in the video description should you want to go and explore them. We'll have details on where you can watch Star Trek Lower Decks towards the end of this video, as well as a few other bonus surprises. The exclusive scene starts at Douglas Station, a space dock type space station. This space station is the same type as Earth Space Dock, which was first seen in the third Star Trek movie, The Search for Spock. When we first saw the station on the poster for Star Trek Lower Decks, we thought this would be Earth Space Dock, but it is confirmed here that it's a different space station than the one we typically see in Star Trek. We get our voiceover from Ensign Brad Boimler, voiced by Jack Quaid, giving a mock captain's log about the USS Cerritos and its mission of second contact in the Star Trek universe. What is amazingly cool is that the Cerritos is within Douglas Station, similar to how we see ships docked within Earth Space Dock, like the Enterprise D and of course the Enterprise A. Basically, walkways are connecting not only to the saucer section of the Cerritos, but also with its lower engineering section, which confirms that the ship actually has a lower engineering section, which also raises the question, how did the engineering crew move from the secondary hull to the saucer section, as the struts don't seem like they house turbolifts, so it's probably through transporter technology. I mean, this is the year of 2380 after all, it's entirely possible. Now, Ensign Beckett Mariner, who is voiced by Tawny Newsome, finds Ensign Boimler in the medical supply closet making his fake captain's log and teases him about it. We saw this in the trailer for Star Trek Lower Decks, but now we know that Mariner is drunk on Romulan whiskey. Your first question might be, why is this not Romulan ale? Mariner makes a note to say that the whiskey is not green, which is probably a reference to the Albarian whiskey which is seen in the Next Generation. The whiskey even comes in an original series style liquor bottle. Romulan whiskey is just as intoxicating and illegal as its ale counterpart, apparently. Oh, and just a small note, CBS PR for Star Trek Lower Decks has been sending out press kits to US-based organisations, which included a Romulan whiskey DIY cocktail kit. It's a shame us international Trekkies could not get our hands on this, but oh well, still a neat idea it would seem. Now Marina starts to swing around a Klingon bat'leth which she states she got from a Klingon with an eye patch. The last Klingon with an eye patch that we've seen is from Star Trek The Undiscovered Country with General Chang, but unfortunately he died in that movie so it can't be him.
To be or not to be.
Maybe Chancellor Martok was taken to wearing an eye patch over his injured eye. Just a thought. Now as Marina accidentally slices through Boimler's leg, which to go all the way through to the bone. I definitely did not expect that, but I'm sure a quick trip down to the sickbay will fix him right up. Especially as Dr. Tanana, the ship's chief medical officer, seems like a right lad who I'm sure will resonate with many fans of Dr. McCoy. And that is all we saw from the Star Trek Universe panel at Comic-Con at Home. This scene got me actually pretty excited for the show, so I'm very much looking forward to that later this week. Not only do we get an exclusive look at Star Trek Lower Decks, but numerous screen caps from the series have been released by StarTrek.com. We'll go through some of them here to see what we can tell about Lower Decks and the retrospective episodes. Oh, and before I forget, this week we'll be doing a big video on everything you need to know for Star Trek Lower Decks. Keep an eye out for that on Wednesday, we'll bring it to you very soon. Our first image is of the Lower Decks crew, our 4 ensigns, on the Cerritos' bar area. You know, the Cerritos' 10 forward if you may. What is fascinating about this shot is that we can see the waiter seen in the background is wearing the exact same uniform that the waiters at 10 forward wore in the Next Generation on board the Enterprise D. All we need is Guinan going around and offering some great advice, and we'd have the complete set. Another picture centered in the 10 forward area shows us glasses, which are the same weird shaped glasses that were seen in the Next Generation. We're getting a lot of references to Star Trek TNG, which makes sense as Lower Decks creator, Mike McCann, is a massive Next Generation fan, so keep your eyes out for all the references, and I mean all of them. The next picture looks to be Marina, Tendi and Boimler in a cargo bay with a broken down Type 6 shuttlecraft in the background, as well as what looks like Starfleet photon torpedoes stacked beside it. The Type 6 shuttles were frequently used in the Next Generation. Our next picture was reported a few weeks ago, and this is our first look at the chief engineer of the Cerritos, Lieutenant Commander Andy Billups, who is played by the well-known American actor Paul Scheer. I am glad we have a name for a chief engineer because we've gone through 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery without even a mention of the chief engineer's real name, which is kind of annoying if you ask me. Then again, we do have the lovely Commander Jet Reno who works in engineering of the Discovery, so she could be the chief. Just a dream. Jeffrey Tube's making an appearance with Ensigns Rutherford and Tendi inside one, seemingly talking about something while attempting to do some work. Now, as the writer of this script puts it, we then see our buff Chief of Security Lieutenant Shax, who I just love the design of him. Most of the Bajorans we've seen up until now have been quite scrawny resistant fighters, which makes sense due to the Cardassian occupation. So it's a refreshing take to see such a buff Bajoran who could probably break a Cardassian over his knee. I mean, hey, we might even see that. Anything's possible. Our next image is of a scheming Ferengi, a diplomatic mission to Little Kronos, a floating orb of light, maybe something to do with Bajorans, Captain Freeman singing to the crew, and the end of what seems to be a stressful day aboard the starship Cerritos. And leaving the best picture till last, Ensign Marina has put up a conspiracy map of the many conspiracies related to Star Trek's past. We see the Suliban, notorious within the Star Trek Enterprise for being involved in the Temporal Cold War. We also see the Klingon augment virus, which caused the Klingon ridges to dissolve in Star Trek Enterprise. We also see the Salt Vampire from Star Trek the original series, as well as the whales from Star Trek IV The Voyage Home, in which Kirk and the crew go back in time to save the whales from extinction. Teleporter twins can be found, which occurs in both the Next Generation and the original series, as well as Cardassians on what looks like to be a Vendorian from the animated series. A ton of references for this vibrant new series. Honestly, I can't wait to start doing the behind the scenes and breakdown of these episodes, as my Christ, we're going to be here for years. I think it's safe to say that Lower Decks is going to contain references that any Star Trek fan will get, no matter if you've just joined the fandom with Picard and Discovery, or you've been around since the start of the original series. You're going to enjoy the references in this series. And that is everything we have from Star Trek Lower Decks until the series premieres on CBS All Access in the United States, and CTV Sci-Fi Canada and Crave on the 6th of August. Unfortunately, we still have no news about the international release of Star Trek Lower Decks, but as soon as we know, we will let you know. To amend the previous point on international viewership for Star Trek Lower Decks, creator Mike McCann did tweet and reply to a user mentioning the international release date of the UK and basically saying he wouldn't worry about it. This comes from a Trek fan when basically saying that, they feel a bit left out with the fact Lower Decks hasn't been announced for an international distributor just yet, and obviously Mike has replied here, you can see this on screen right now. Whether that means we will get an announcement later this week, it's kind of unclear. You can follow us on Twitter or social media such as Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with the latest information like that. We're still wondering whether Amazon Prime Video or Netflix will be the international distributor for Star Trek Lower Decks, or whether CBS might roll out internationally. It's unclear just yet, but we'll keep you up to date. Don't panic, our coverage of Lower Decks does not stop there. Every Thursday we'll be back with a brand new episode review, and then on Sundays at 9 PM BST, we'll be live streaming to discuss our excitement and open thoughts on the latest episode and series so far, also featuring special guests. That's Sundays at 9 PM BST for our live streams, and Thursdays for our episode reviews. If you want to keep up to date with all things Star Trek, be sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. You can also visit our website for brand new articles, as well as join our community Discord server to chat with like-minded Trekkies about the series and movies that you love. Don't forget to also follow us on social media such as Twitter, Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with the latest Star Trek news. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Live long and prosper, my friends.